The Villains Demand reviews Justice League from DC Comics.
Hey guys, this is The Villains Demand. I'm Evan the Great. This is Justin Von Doom. Today we're here to give you another comic book review over the New 52 Justice League, issues 1 through 6.
This book starts out, takes place 5 years from the current DC continuity. Batman is chasing this cloaked beast through the rooftops of Gotham. The police are also chasing him. And then as Batman battles this beast, Green Lantern, Hal Jordan, shows up. Saves him. He's very surprised that Batman is even real. Batman has become this myth to all the cities on Earth. The monster starts to transform, attacking everything in sight. And then as Batman and Green Lantern try to stop it, Batman begins to question that the Green Lantern Corp is real. They track down to the sewers. Batman and Green Lantern have this conversation. Batman takes his ring. It's something you've kind of never seen before, and especially this New 52. And Green Lantern gets it back from him. They have a conversation. They find the monster. He's planting this box in the sewers, and he screams for Darkseid, and he explodes. Green Lantern once again saves Batman by creating an energy shield around him. As they begin to inspect the box, they decided they need to go to Metropolis. Superman is also in the same boat they are, fighting these demons. They both go to help him. They're needing backup. Green Lantern calls upon the Flash. And then they defeat the demons. They take their box. At the time, during this, you've got this whole thing with Flash and Superman, a speed thing to a sense, where you know, you kind of throughout history, it's who's faster, Superman, Flash, and they kind of start this right here. The military shows up. The heroes escape. They go to Superman's headquarters, which is a abandoned printing press. They're inspecting a box that he's got. And you kind of cut back, you've got Victor Stone. He's playing football. His dad's not there as they're winning like their state title, and you can tell he's very upset about this. He goes to Starred Labs there in Detroit, where it's based at, to confront his dad. They had an argument about it. His dad's telling him, you know, that with what they're doing, you know, none of that will ever matter, that they're on to something really, really good. And then you see that he's got one of these boxes. Then you cut to Washington, D.C., where you see all these monitors where they're talking about Wonder Woman, and you see all these people where they've got these signs where they're rallying, talking about that she's a pagan, and there's kind of a thing where the soldiers are talking about how, no, she worships Zeus. And then Steve, who's the kind of like the ambassador for the island she's from, is looking for her. The soldier's like, well, we couldn't really stop her. They point to a hole in the wall. You see Wonder Woman walking the streets of D.C. She meets a little girl who offers her, they get some ice cream. Steve shows up, they're having an argument, and this portal opens up from the sky, and parademons come out. And at this time, you see the boxes that Batman, Superman, Flash, and Green Lantern have. The boxes open up, parademons. Same at Star Labs with Vic, his dad, and his dad's scientific crew. Parademons open up. But as the box opens up, the tube opens up, you see Vic get covered in this red energy as the parademons are coming out. The demons begin taking the people in the lab, and as they do, Vic and his dad and some of his other members of his staff, they're trying to escape. And he's the one to save Vic's life, so they take him up to this room where they're locking themselves in, and they've been working on this, per se, like a super soldier to a sense, and they start injecting him with all these nanites. And Dr. T.O. Morrow's there, and he's telling him, you know, they don't know that this will work, it's not really been tested. His dad's telling him it's the only chance that he's got to save his son. And then he goes and he gives him this Prometheus skin graft, this armor on him. And, you know, it's combining with this energy and whatnot. He becomes cyborg. At first, the systems are trying to take him over. He's getting used to them, and then he can see where these parademons are being created. He could see Darkseid. He could see like the inner workings of what their plan is. Well, and he gets mad and he leaves. After saving some children and their parents, when he leaves in Detroit, he realizes that he too can open these boom tubes, these portals. At this time, the part of the Justice League are fighting some more of these parademons after they've unleashed in Metropolis. And Wonder Woman shows up to help them. She's been, she figured she would come and help. She's always looking for a fight. And as the battle continues on, this giant tower rises from the ocean. And Aquaman appears to them. These demons have been attacking Atlantis too. So they begin arguing about how to handle the situation. At this time, the Justice League, they're not a team yet. They're all individuals. They don't know how to work as a team. Well, so Green Lantern, being the cocky, arrogant person that he is, Hal starts poking fun at everybody, especially Aquaman. About that time, these parademons come to attack him, and Aquaman, showing how badass he is, these sharks jump from the ocean and they take the parademons down. And then the battle rages on, and the boom tube opens up behind him, and Cyborg comes out. Green Lantern, looking at him, thinking he's one of these, bubbles him up and starts attacking him. They realize that he's human. So he teams up with them. About this time, Darkseid appears, and Darkseid is not your typical Darkseid. He's massive. He's easily 9 foot tall. He's huge. And so the fight with Darkseid begins. He shoots his Omega beams, and they're going after Superman the Flash. And then they split up, and then you see the Omega beams split up. One's going after each of them. Flash uses his to take out some of the parademons attacking people. And as he does, he goes to try to help Superman, and one of the Omega beams hits Superman and takes him out of the fight. At this time, the parademons, they snatch up Superman, they take him to the castle. Then you cut back to the rest of Justice League. They're fighting Darkseid, especially Green Lantern. Being cocky, he's trying to take Darkseid down on his own. Darkseid gets the better of him, smashes and breaks his arm. Tosses him up to the side. As he's laying there, Batman approaches him, tells him, he needs to stop being so single-minded, that they need to work together to defeat this guy. None of them have ever faced anything like this. He tells him, basically, you need to get with the other guys, cause a distraction, try to keep Darkseid at bay while I go rescue Superman. To gain his trust, Batman does something he's not known for with strangers, and he takes off his mask to reveal that he's Bruce Wayne. Which, to Bruce's surprise, Hal's like, who's Bruce Wayne? So he leaves to go get Superman. Green Lantern, he goes to gather up the rest of the guys. Batman basically he offers himself up to the parademons. The parademons, they take him to the island, this fortress. There he sees some unknown beings of evil nature, not to give away who they are. They've got Superman tied down. They're talking about how they're wanting to turn him into this new breed of soldier for Darkseid. How Darkseid's here on planet Earth looking for his daughter Steppenwolf. And you cut back, and Green Lantern's rallying Wonder Woman, Cyborg, Flash, Aquaman to take down Darkseid, and they decide they need to take out his eyes. The first thing that happens is Wonder Woman with her sword stabs him one of his eyes. Aquaman follows up and takes the other eye out with the trident, but they realize that that's not going to stop him. Darkseid is too powerful. And as they're doing this, they're trying to talk Cyborg into opening up one of these portals. He doesn't know if he can do it. And he opens up a boom tube and winds up opening it up to the fortress, where Batman's just now rescuing Superman. They get Superman to come to. Superman emerges. He's fighting Darkseid, and they shove him back through the boom tube. And as he does, he vows vengeance. He vows a return to Earth. They cut back to Washington, D.C., where the president's giving a speech about how, these heroes of Earth, how now they know they can trust them. Everybody's cheering for them. And they're all debating on how they don't have time to be a team. They've got other, obligations to do. Green Lantern mentions that, he has a whole universe to protect. And, you know, and the Flash is like, no, you know, maybe this is a good thing. And Wonder Woman's kind of backing up, you know, maybe we need to do this. And you kind of see they start, it cuts back between TVs where people are watching them. And then, you know, they're really excited that this is happening, that they feel they can trust these heroes. And then at the time, the president's like, hey, you know, they kind of cut off. The president's like, hey, we got trouble brewing. And it probably seems that we need guys of your talents to go stop this. And then the Flash is like, don't worry, the Super 7 have it. And the book ends. But when you think the book ends, there's a small story in the back. And there's a strange female named Pandora, and she's at a murder scene. And one character known to all DC fans, the Phantom Stranger, appears. And he's talking about how he was sent for the Circle of Eternity. And he's warning Pandora that they are not allowed to get involved with what they've sowed. They're only cursed to watch. And she starts questioning that she hears rumors that the Circle was destroyed. And he tells him, you know that he is there for the box and that they need to keep their eyes open for the third center. Well, Pandora doesn't want to give him the box. So she winds up shooting at him. She carries these pistols. And she shoots him in the head, and he tells her, you know you can't kill me with those. She says, fine, you know, if you get my way, I will be forced to reveal your identity to the world. And he tells her that there's no way that she can do what she's trying to accomplish. She says, fine, whether they like it or not, I'll just force the Justice League to help me. And that's the end of the first arc.
Yep, it's a very, very good arc. It's got great story in it, great characters in it, and the artwork is fantastic. The only thing about the story, to me, that kind of hurts it a little bit, is it's a bit too much, to me. Like, I think Batman's too powerful. I think some of their power levels are a little unequal, but the story itself was very well written, and they do a good job on making Aquaman be a badass, and it's awesome. They do a good job on portraying the cockiness of Green Lantern and the Flash. I thought they did a good job with everybody, except they made Batman a little bit too much powerful, and it's a little bit too much of the characters to be are a little bit more OP than I would think a lot of their characters would be. Just to me, except for Superman, which of course.
I disagree. I don't think they made Batman too OP. Batman, I felt, done his job as...
He did.
Giving the commands like, hey, we need to do this and we need to do that, do this, and you really didn't see him try to fight anything that he knew he couldn't handle. I mean, you've seen him roll off these parademons, that's perfectly fine, but you did not see him remotely attempt to take on too many of them at one time.
I just think that one of them, he's never seen them before. I think one parademon would probably really mess Batman up. Until he knew what they was, and he didn't know what they was at that point.
Well, that's true, but I mean, he is Batman. I mean, you got to think that he's been Batman for a while at this point. And this book is 5 years earlier than anything that's going on in the DC New 52 continuity, which really, on a side note, kind of messed things up when all these books come out. I don't think they played anybody up to be too powerful.
It's just, like, I read Batman, too. And the Batman in the New 52, to me, is amazing. And then the one in the Justice League... He's not bad, but he's lackluster in certain portions to that Batman, and then sometimes I think he's too much. Like, he knows too much. I don't know.
I don't think
because these things are not of our world. The reason I say that.
Yeah. Well,
I can see him knowing all this after they fight him, but he's like knowing as they fight him. I'm like,
well, no. He never said anything like that. He never knew that he knew what they were. Now he knew who like all the other heroes were. He knew Green Lantern.
Yeah.
He knew Superman and Flash because at this time those are established characters.
Yeah.
So he obviously knows that, hey, maybe these guys will be a problem. He's doing the typical Batman thing.
I guess you're right. It just seemed like a little too much right off the bat, but if you already knew they was there, maybe.
To know that at the time that Superman is an alien, that's a little too much. To know that Green Lantern's ring works on his willpower is a little too much. But I don't necessarily have a problem with that because at the time you don't know how long that these guys have been established. And that also it's also a major problem with the book in a sense because you're getting no time frame there. You just know that 5 years ago. That's
yeah. Like I said, the story is good, but when we start talking about time frame, we're like, how does it match up? Because this is 5 years from the new 52. So I guess that would be an issue. But that's the two or three issues I don't like. But there's like 7 or 8 that I do love about the book, and one of them has to be Aquaman. I love his character. Green Lantern, Flash, they're really good, but Aquaman they sold him to me because. And I don't care for Cyborg that much, even though he was all right in this book. Most of the time I don't like Cyborg, but in this book he was all right. But he's a little bit too forced onto the team, if you ask me. It's like the book tried to put him in the team, but they tried to force him on the team, and then they used him to open up the boom tubes, which made sense at that point. But I really like the characters in it, and I like Darkseid, how powerful he was, but I don't know if I like him being that big.
Well, okay, let's hold up here. Let's kind of chop these characters down. Okay, so Aquaman. Aquaman is your residential DC loser, in a sense. You know, if you're that really hardcore DC comic fan, you hate Marvel, Aquaman's a badass. Yeah. But to your normal comic reader that reads it outside of DC comics, like Aquaman's not really that much of a badass. But Jeff Johns wrote this, and anything to me Jeff Johns writes is gold.
Oh, yeah.
The dude is a genius. And like you said, he does a really good job of showing you that Aquaman is a badass. And for one, like I had said, you see him use the sharks.
Yeah.
Something you've never seen Aquaman do before. And even to remotely get to the point that, you know, he is a badass at the end of the book, well, they're kind of talking about costumes, and he's like, do you think I like wearing orange? He's like, it's just Atlantean scale metal. So, you know, he kind of cuts down on himself, but he knows, you know, that's armor to him.
Yeah.
So, you know, they do a real good job of making him a badass.
Yeah, but I liked him. I liked the transformation, and it's funny because they don't want to be a team, but they can work together as a team. I like that coming together aspect. Also like the aspect that they could. There's no way in hell they could beat Darkseid, so they had to push him back through a portal.
Okay.
Because I really like that, because that displays how powerful Darkseid is, and it puts a big villain, a big target, a big threat right into the middle of the DC universe.
Hey, hold up. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Oh. Let's cut these characters down here. Okay, now Cyborg. I've always hated Cyborg. Still hate Cyborg. I've always thought he was a very lame character, and even here recently they tried to make him too much like Iron Man.
Yes.
But his origin here is actually very, very cool. To see how the energy from these boom tubes, like it's almost became a part of him.
Yeah.
Especially with the interface, the nanites, and this armor that they add to him at Stars Labs. It's a really cool origin for like we just talked about, like Aquaman, a very lame character.
One thing I would add, if I could switch out a character, it would still be Cyborg. I know it sounds awful. I would take Cyborg out of this book, and I'd put Hawkman in this book, because he's a way better character.
I would put Martian Manhunter.
Or Martian Manhunter.
I think that's what I hate.
But I like Hawkman because
I do like Hawkman.
The Thanagarians, and then you got the Wonder Woman and the Amazons, and then you got the Aquaman and the Atlanteans. That's 3 different races of people, and then Martian Manhunter fits into.
But well, here's my problem with adding Cyborg to the book, and this is always controversy. It's trying to push black characters in society spaces, and I'm not. We're no by means racist whatsoever, but I mean, the Justice League of America, which we are now, they are just called the Justice League of this book.
Yeah.
Your big 7 have always been the guys in this book, minus Cyborg, plus Martian Manhunter.
Yeah.
And I've always liked Martian Manhunter because, in a sense, he is almost like an outsider. He's a loner, but I mean,
also like Shazam too.
Yeah, man, I hate Shazam.
Well, I think they added him to this book.
Yeah, eventually he shows up. But I mean, but besides the race and stuff like that, it's almost like they want this team, this core team now for the 52 titles, to be the Avengers. Yeah. And he makes Iron Man is what he does. But they want him to, they need an Iron Man type character. And the Justice League, there's no character there that has technology. They're not technology based, so they had to throw this character there, and it's perfectly understandable. But I mean, to me, he's always been a lame character. He really don't do anything for this book. I mean, he basically opens up a boom tube to get rid of Darkseid, and he lets them know that their boom tube system is fried. That's it. He doesn't offer nothing to the book at all.
He had a good backstory, and he opened up the boom tube. And in the middle, I'm wondering, how did he learn how to use all this new weaponry that he can do?
Yeah, all of a sudden.
All of a sudden, he's like, boom. I'm like, you've got to... I mean, Iron Man couldn't do that when he first put the suit on.
No, and that he made the suit very simple. But anyway, because we're talking about it, to some degree, they make some of these guys real OP, and it hits his character the hardest. Because like you said, how did he learn how to use all this? Because this is just in, I would assume, moments. You know, like he's grafted from his dad, he gets the nanites, and he leaves, and then he fights parademons, figures out he can open a boom tube, and the boom tube just happens to take him to where Darkseid's going to show up.
Yeah.
And he really doesn't offer anything, except for how to get rid of Darkseid. Okay, next line, we'll go Wonder Woman.
Oh, yes.
I like this Wonder Woman. I mean, she's an Amazonian. She should always be looking for a fight. And they make that reference in this book. And for her to, like, let's go for the eyes, it's very tactical. And it fits her character. She's supposed to be this warrior, you know, this trained fighter, you know, and it fits her, you know, that it was great that she's like, well, let's go for the eyes. And I thought that was a really good point for the character, because right before 52, I thought Wonder Woman was becoming a very interesting character. You go there around...
I used to read it.
Infinite Crisis, not Infinite Crisis, but Identity Crisis, where all that started at. From then on, she became a really cool character, and I think they improved the character a lot more with the start of this book.
A lot of people portray Wonder Woman as the Linda Carter Wonder Woman from the TV series, and even in the new movie, a lot of people, or in this comic book, they're like, why does Wonder Woman have a sword, or why does she have a shield? Well, if you're a comic book fan like me, and you've read Wonder Woman before, Wonder Woman should always have weapons, because she is a badass warrior, and a sword and a shield, or whatever she may have her hands on, when she has a weapon, it just brings out more of the warrior mentality to me.
It fits her character, and it also separates her from being a bruiser like Superman. Yeah, of course. I mean, you've always seen Superman fight with, you know, and her Superman as like marksmen, or they've always portrayed them as bruisers, you know, brawlers. But to see her make her the role of a warrior, let's like make her stick out from these guys, and it fits her really well. And in the book, they did a really cool thing, because the lasso of truth, Green Lantern touches it, and he begins to talk about how he has to impress people. It's the only thing he thinks he can do to make himself show up. And she's like, what did you say? He's like, what? And then she tells you about the lasso of truth. So, you know, they kind of tease that the lasso of truth still works the same way in this new 52 world.
Yeah, because she's got the sword. Does she have a shield in this one? I can't remember.
No.
I know she has a badass sword. She has the bracers. She has her lasso, and she's an Amazon on top of that. She's a great warrior, and her story plots were very good in this book. You know, coming out of the White House, I think, and then she winds up getting with a little kid with ice cream, and I like how she treats everybody. She treats it almost as a I want to say Leonidas like from 300, the way she patrols.
Well, to a degree, but like I like how they portray her as like she is new here, and she's trying to be this ambassador, and she's very nice to people, and then in a sense she's very naive to everything. Yeah, like where she's talking about the ice cream and the vendor and how he made this and how he should take great pride in this. You know? He's looking at her like, okay. You know, so they make a good job of making her very naive to how the real world is, because on Paradise Island she's been there forever. Yes. I would say Flash next, but there's not really a lot to the Flash in this book. I would say he's really worried about keeping his identity a secret. Yeah, he's kind of, which kind of comes out a little bit in Green Lantern. A little bit in the backdrop. Well, like I said, they do the whole play with him and Superman. How he stops Superman, and then Superman catches him, and he's like, "Whoa." Now, that's about all you get with the Flash in the whole book. Except for the fact that he's fast enough to outrun the Omega Beams. Oh, yeah. I'd say next, the most character that stood out, Green Lantern.
Yeah.
I think they did a really good job of portraying Hal
Yes.
Jordan. The cockiness, the arrogance, it is all there. And even the will to keep going on when you know you're outmatched.
Yes.
And then the playing up a friendship with him and Barry Allen, the Flash. That was really, really good in this book because they're my two favorite heroes from DC Comics. So I thought it was really nice to see that part.
I like when he calls him and he's like, yeah, we're down here, we need help. He's like, help with what? He's like, fight Superman. He's like, you're fighting Superman?
Yeah, exactly. Like, he is so worried about things like that. But it's nice because at the end of the book, he's the guy that is wanting to do this, you know, from being worried about people knowing that, hey, we should be a team, you know.
Yes.
And, you know, they established the history that him and Green Lantern have. Like, they're buddies. They're a team up, you know. So, and with this new 52 stuff when it come out, I really wish that they'd have done a Green Lantern Flash team up book.
Yes.
And, you know, because they already know each other, and it'd be nice to see where that started at.
Kind of goes together. One thing about Green Lantern I thought was funny in the book is when Batman stole his ring from him.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he just swaps it right from him. He's like, hey, give that back, you know. And I mean, you know, Green Lantern's like, oh, you know, it's based on will, blah, 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 blah. You know, they kind of have the talk. You know, and it's nice to see that Batman do Batman things without being the, like, where you kind of thought he was OP, and I didn't. I just thought it was nice to see little things
I wouldn't
like
say OP
that.
is like action-wise, it's just information-wise, because he's more of a, like, set and detect, you know, be a detective and find out stuff, and it's like he's finding out stuff too quick, but...
Well, like I said, there's a time frame there you don't know.
I know, and it really bothers me.
You know, you don't know how long this has been going on because people are at this time. People are afraid of them.
And they might portray it, you know, later issues because I haven't read too many past this.
No, this is the only part of this story I've ever read.
Which I got the newer books, but we'll get to that later.
Okay, who else are we missing here? Superman.
Yeah.
I don't think you get a lot of Superman in this book either, which is a good thing. They don't make Superman OP. They do show the whole struggle with him and Darkseid at the end. But they also do show you that he is special in the book when he is taken to the Apocalypse Tower, I guess you would call it.
Yeah.
Because they need him for some reason. And Darkseid knows something there. And hopefully that plays out into more books. But it's nice to see that you don't see him doing these incredible, stupid feats of strength that he is known for in this book. You know, I mean...
They eventually will get to that, though.
Yeah, eventually.
Based on what I've seen online, pictures of new powers and stuff,
I've read Superman Unchained. He does some pretty ridiculous stuff in there in the beginning. But, am I missing anybody? Is that
we already talked about Aquaman.
Batman. I think that's it.
I think that's all
the main characters, okay?
Yep.
And then the villain Darkseid, which I'm a big Darkseid fan. I've always loved Darkseid.
And, go ahead.
No.
Like I said earlier, I love how they made him really powerful, but I hate how they made him 10 foot tall. He should be big, but not 10 foot tall. I'm thinking maybe like 7 foot, bigger than a human, wider than a human, stronger than a human. But maybe they made him that big to make him look that much more proportionate to the Justice League as they fight him.
Well, yeah, to me, being a fan of Darkseid, I really like this Darkseid. I like that. I would say those 5, because Batman and Superman are not there.
Yeah.
If you want to, I mean, could not stop him. I like that they're making that powerful because before the New 52, it wasn't nothing for Superman to defeat him alone.
Yeah.
And it's nice to see that he's at a power level. What makes it kind of sad is, in a sense, in this book, they're trying to make him Thanos from Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, look how, like you was talking about, oh, he's like the big, well, Thanos is usually portrayed as being that big compared to everybody else. And now that, like I said, Darkseid, you always see him go one-on-one with Superman, and it's, you know, even that now he's a team buster, to a sense.
Yeah.
And, you know, to the fact that, you know, he is so awesome that they stab out both of his eyes, and he's still going.
I love his old mega beams. One shot put down Superman.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he was out if it wasn't for Batman. He'd been done.
And in the previous story arcs, or even in the animated series, or the animated TV series, I've seen Superman take an Omega Beam and just hurt. That's when put him down.
Yeah, you know, and you know, you see what it does just to parademons when the Flash makes them hit him. And it's nice to see, like I said, you know, to make him be as powerful as what he should be, because Darkseid should always be one of the bigger threats in the DC universe, and they're really showing it with this book. And like I said, we have not read past this, but just currently going on with Darkseid War, you see that he's the threat that he should be.
Yes. So I've almost got all that right.
Yeah.
In the future.
In the book, there's some there's some little Easter eggs, if you notice in the book. I thought the funniest one was at the end when they're doing the press conference at the White House. The little girl says, "The Super Friends."
Yeah.
And I thought that was really funny before, and then the Flash saying the Super Seven.
The Super Seven.
But at the book, you get a little preview of a character named Pandora, and I don't think she's ever showed up in DC Comics until this moment.
Yeah, I think you're right.
And not that I know. I think this is where she starts at, and you get this little backstory with her and the Phantom Stranger, and they're talking about curses. And with me, the mystical side of DC is always what's drawn me to DC, like Blue Devil, Etrigan, the Spectre, all that.
They do have a lot of good.
Yeah, they actually have a lot of great mystical characters. Dr. Fate, and that's what really draws me into that. And honestly, DC, and that's honestly, I forgot all about the part of this book. When I read it the other day, I'm like, oh man, I forgot all about this. And they give you it's a nice little stinger at the end of the book, almost like you would get at the end of a comic book movie from Marvel. And there's a little dialogue there that lets you know in the future that things are going to get really interesting for the Justice League.
Oh yeah, but as the characters, I like most of them. They work good together. The book is a solid book. Jeff Johns, best writer on DC. Jim Lee, best artist at DC. I mean, Jim Lee, best artist almost ever. I mean, he's in the top 5
all time.
Yeah, you got to think, he drew all the X-Men. He's drawing this book. He draws a lot of the books that Jeff Johns does. He's a pretty good artist. I would say top 5. I wouldn't say he's the top 1, but he's got to crack the top 5. Him and George Perez. I don't know. I'm going on about good artists, but
well, no. I mean, Jim Lee's up there.
He's good.
He revolutionized the X-Men. He helped revolutionize comic book art in the early '90s.
But I was going to say X-Men because I love the way he draws Cyclops. But and in this book, I love the way he always draws Aquaman. He's got that. When you look at Aquaman in this book, without even saying anything, he's like, yeah, he's the baddest one on here, even though he ain't. But he just appears to be.
Yeah, well, yeah, he draws him to be the complete badass. Like when he summons the sharks to take down the parademons, it's like it's nothing to him. He's just like I do this all the time. And then you see they play him up like Wonder Woman being a warrior. When you see the ferocity on his face when he stabs Darkseid in the eye too. So, with Wonder Woman, they're playing him up, instead of being a superhero, that they're playing him up to be an Atlantean warrior king. And Jim Lee does a really good job of drawing him to make him look like that in the fight scenes.
Because before the New 52, Jeff Johns took Aquaman, made him a badass, took Green Lantern, made him a badass, and now they're both on this team of equal proportion, and it's really cool.
Oh man, making Green Lantern badass, man. You want to talk about the best stuff that come out of DC in years, right?
And then I don't know who was doing Wonder Woman before 52, but that was a great story too. It's like I wish I'm not saying I hate 52, but I liked what they had going on. But a little challenge, y'all. It's on the spot, but it's thought of it. Well, once we post this video and you hear us talking, of course you're going to hear me. If you could pick 5 members on your Justice League team, who would it be?
Let's go 7. This is a 7-man roster.
Okay.
Yeah, you got Batman, Superman, Flash, Green Lantern, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, Cyborg. So 7. So if you want to, underneath the comments on our Facebook, let's post on Twitter, let us know who would your 7 Justice League be. But overall, it's a very solid book. I'd give it a 9. 9.5. It's really, really good.
That's exactly where my number's at. It's right around Batman's level.
Oh,
and Batman was so good.
I mean, like I said, Jeff Johns, amazing writer. Everything he touches is gold. If you don't believe me, watch Flash TV show. He's got his hands all on that. But DC Animated from Warner Brothers also made a movie over this called Justice League War, and it's almost frame for frame this book. Yeah. I I mean, everything that we talked about, especially the friendship between Barry and Hal.
Yep.
Green Lantern Flash, they really played that up in there really well. So if you get a chance, check that out. Sadly enough, before we started our channel, that movie had already came out. We never got a review done of it.
Maybe that's why I keep getting these flashbacks of Batman being too tough, because of that darn movie I watched. I mean, Perry threw him against the building and slid all the way down with him, and if I'm not mistaken, he's riding on his back.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's why it's stuck in my head.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, that probably makes a lot of sense. But we're Villains Demand. I'm not Evan the Great. You're Evan the Great.
Correct.
I'm Justin Von Doom. Hopefully you're watching this on YouTube.
Danny Crosses.
Check us out on Facebook. Subscribe to us on Twitter. Keep reading, guys.